What's up, truck drivers? It's Kenny again. Picked up a load of beef coming out of Liberal, Kansas, and I'm headed to New Jersey. I ain't too happy about it. I kind of hate going to New Jersey, but it is what it is. At least it's just one location. I ain't got to do all that 3 or 4 stop bullshit in there. So I'm going to try to make a couple videos over this trip. I had said in a previous video that I wanted to talk about my thoughts and feelings about the training and the way it's taking place these days. So I figured I'd sit down and see if I can't come up with something here. I've got a lot of thoughts on it, you know. It's not so much that it's drastically changed since I got my CDL 20 years ago, but judging from how things on the road have changed and how the driving behaviors and stuff have changed, you can tell that the training is not taking place after the school in the same way that it did when I was first driving trucks. So first, you know, I went through a college program, and it was pretty extensive, and they trained us in a lot of things that I don't know what other schools were really doing at the time, but I know that now they're not training them in the schools to do those things. When I came back to trucking about a year ago, they made me take a little refresher course, right? Because I hadn't been over the road in a long time, and that's just how it is. None of your local experience and stuff really counts. So anyway, they put me through this little refresher course, but it really wasn't a refresher course. It was just a regular old little truck school, CDL school, and I just had to sit there for a week, more or less. I mean, there was no classroom to it. I just went straight out there and to where they were backing trucks and stuff, and it was useless. It was completely useless. It was pretty much has to be just for insurance purposes, because pretty much I just sat there the whole week, and then the last day I drove a automatic on one time on this little, you know, route they had set up, and the rest of the time I just like backed the truck in a straight line, more or less. I mean, so they do crazy stuff, though. I got to see a lot of the stuff that they do that is totally just ridiculous compared to what I went through. You know, like all this pre-trip stuff that they do. It's like retarded. They have to memorize this long list of stuff, and they go around the truck like, alternator belt not cracked, broken, torn, and all this stuff that they have to like physically say as they go around the truck. And it just seems stupid to me, because, you know, I gotta be honest with you, out on the road, I mean, most of the pre-trip you're gonna get is I'm gonna walk around the truck real quick, make sure I ain't got no flats, make sure the lights are working, check the oil and stuff once a week, and that's about it, man. You know, when I just pick up a new trailer, I'll walk around it real quick, make sure ain't anything glaringly obvious that needs to be addressed. But you know, pre-trips, like all that shit's just, it's crazy. It's crazy the way to do it. But these guys, man, these trainees, they didn't teach them how to back under a trailer. They didn't teach them anything, man. I mean, and even the backing that they did, like, they had some cones set up, which is pretty standard. And then they would like have them pull up and then back into the cones in a straight line. Then they would have them pull up and then back into the cones next to them, which I forget what they call it, offset. That's what they called it, where it was like, you know, the truck's at a little bit, tiny bit of an angle, and they got to put it in there. And then they would parallel park. And they had this sheet inside the truck that was taped inside the truck. I shit you not. And it said, like, look out your mirror and cut the wheel all the way to the left until you see the center of the landing gear. line up with this little line, and then cut it all the way back the other way until you see out of this mirror the landing gear line up with this other line. They had it all planned out, like based on these little benchmarks that you can see in the mirror. That don't teach you nothing. That don't teach you a goddamn thing. That don't teach you how to back into a parking place at a truck stop. That don't teach you how to back into a dock. It don't teach you anything, literally. Like, especially with all the little tricks. They're basically just tricks to let you pass the test, is it. Like, no 90-degree backing, no nothing, man. No, not even 45-degree backing. And, like, when you're using benchmarks like that, you can't do that in real life situations. That's not teaching you how to back a trailer. There was even a situation where, you know, it had been a long time since I drove a tractor trailer, and I was like, so what's the maximum weights on the axles, just to refresh my memory, you know. Trainer guy didn't know. He didn't have a fucking clue what the weights were on the axles. I'm like, what? So, you know, it was just a completely useless pursuit. So, I'm telling you, these people that they're cranking out of these schools, they're just teaching them the test. That's it, man. I mean, that is it. Like, even when I went to truck driving school, when it came to the written test, like the school that I went to had copies of the test you were going to take. There was like 3 different variations of the test that they could possibly give you, and we had all 3, and we went through all 3 question by question. So there was no way that you could go in there and be unprepared unless you just didn't pay attention. And I'm sure that they're doing very similar things now. You know, they're just teaching that test. And what they expect, that my point is that what they expect is, they expect for when you get into a company and you get into a truck with a trainer, they expect that trainer to teach you how to drive. They're just going to help you pass the test, and they expect your company's trainer to teach you how to drive. And, you know, years ago, maybe that wasn't such a bad thing. You know, because, like, the first time I drove a truck, I had a really good trainer. Been driving trucks for a long time, you know, and taught me a lot of stuff. But these days, man, even at this company that I'm at, it's a good company, you know, a lot of these trainers only been driving a few years. You know, the trainer they stuck me with, I had to go with a trainer because the same reason I had to do a refresher course and go out with a trainer. It was only about 3 weeks. And the trainer they put me with, now don't get me wrong, he was a nice guy. We got along and stuff. And you kind of have to make that work, you know, when you go in with a trainer. But, you know, he was like, I don't know, just guessing, he's probably 25 years old. I bet he hadn't been driving 3 years. I bet he'd been driving 2 and some change, maybe. You know, I get in this guy's truck, and there ain't nothing in the truck. Like, he ain't got no CB. His refrigerator completely empty. You know what he had in that truck? A TV and a PlayStation. And that was it, man. He didn't have nothing else. I mean, except his phone and stuff. That's it. The truck just empty. Trash everywhere. Just trash everywhere. And this company, the way it works is I'm supposed to do all the driving. When a trainee comes on the truck, they're supposed to do all the driving. But it didn't really work out that way, and you know, they gave us some trips and too many miles on and stuff, and we both kind of drove. And man, this dude was a dumbass driving dude. I mean, he'd just ride people's asses and cussing and just doing stupid shit that I couldn't believe. You know, that they let him train people. And when I went through the process years and years ago, my trainer taught me all kinds of little etiquette stuff that drivers do out on the road, or they're supposed to do. And I noticed that people don't really do this stuff anymore. Like, things that maybe they're not super important, but it's really aggravating to me that people don't just observe these basic trucking etiquette, rules of the road type stuff. Let's talk about some of that. Let's talk about some of those things. Let's see. When you're driving, and somebody's passing you, all right, the appropriate thing to do is when their ass in passes you with a little bit of room, you're supposed to flash your lights. You're supposed to flash your headlights. That way they know that they're clear and they can go ahead and get over. Okay? And then when somebody flashes you in, you're supposed to cancel your marker lights to say thank you. That's how that works. Alright? This is basic, super basic trucker etiquette. And people don't do it. People don't do it no more. I mean, you can flash people. When I first started back, people try to pass me. I'd flash them in. They wouldn't say thank you. They didn't even know. You can tell they don't even know where the thank you button is on the truck. Because they would do shit like when they tried to do it, they would like turn their hazard lights on. They turn their flashers on. Like, thank you. It's like, okay. The effort matters. But you don't even know where your thank you button is. Every truck has a button that cancels your marker lights, so you can do that. It's on a T680. It's on the end of the blinker. You push that little button and it turns the marker lights off. The ones on the top and the sides, your running lights. It turns them off so that you can flash them off and on and say thank you. There ain't no other reason for that. That's the thank you button. But people, because they hadn't been taught none of this etiquette, they don't even know where that button is. They don't even know they got a button that does that. It's crazy. Another thing is, when you flash somebody in, like especially at night, all right, I see people trying to do it. It'll be dark. It'll be 4 o'clock in the morning. It's dark. And they hitting their brights on me. They like hitting their brights, brighten me in the fucking face in my mirror like, hey, you got it, come on over. And I'm like, motherfucker, I'm fucking blind over here. You're supposed to turn them headlights off. You got a cancel switch for that as well. You turn them off and back on. That's how you flash them. You don't bright people in the face in their mirror. On a T680, the cancel for the headlights is you take the blinker switch and you push it forward or down, whatever. It's kind of forward and down, and it turns the headlights off, and then when you let it back, it turns it back on. So you hit that a couple times and it flashes your headlights, and then you don't bright anybody in the face or anything like that. You're just telling them, hey, you're good to come over. So keep that in mind. Like when you don't bright people in the face with your damn headlights. I mean, yeah, you're not facing straight at them, but that shit's bright in the mirror. Like when I'm looking to try to change lanes and you hit them brights, I'm blind for a minute. Turn them off, cancel them. Learn your truck, learn where your buttons are and what they do. Let's see, another thing that happens is a lot of these drivers, man, they just don't have any regard for anybody else but themselves on this road anymore. And what they'll do is, like, they'll be passing you, and then just as soon as their ass end gets past the nose of your truck, they'll come on over, man. I mean, they'll come on over 5 feet from your fucking front of your truck. And that is just some asshole shit right there. You know, it's just disrespectful. And, like, for me, I have like a collision warning system and all this fancy stuff on this 2020 Kenworth. And so when they do that to me, like my truck starts beep, 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 and starts like backing down the cruise control. Sometimes it'll hit the brakes and shit, It's just rude. It's just bad etiquette. And if you think about it, ain't no reason that you can't wait another 30 seconds to give that driver you're passing 20 foot, 15, 20 foot in front of your truck, or in front of his truck before you get over. Ain't no reason for you not to do that. Them four-wheelers ain't important. They trying to get around you. Fuck them. That truck that's trying to go faster than him, you know, he ain't gonna do nothing. Fuck him. You know, you ain't got to fucking cut somebody off like that. Set all their arms off, make the camera go off, and all that kind of shit. It's just rude. It's disrespectful. What else? Another thing, like when you're passing each other, all right? Say I'm passing somebody in the left lane, all right? When I pop it out into that left lane and start going around them, I'm hugging that line on my left. I'm hugging the line on my left. I'm hugging that shoulder. So that I'm leaving extra room so we don't clack-a-lack into each other or anything. You know what I mean? And the same thing goes if somebody's passing me. I dodge it over to the right and I hug the right line so that we got plenty of room in between the two trucks. You know, it's just common sense. It's just basic etiquette. But I'll see motherfuckers constantly passing me on the left, hugging my side of their lane. I mean, they're trying to run me off the road is what it feels like. You know, I mean. And then when they come by, about 30-40% of the time when they come by, they're face buried in their phone. They're like face buried in their phone. I mean, what kind of shit is that? I mean, I understand everybody's kind of on their phones. You know, I mean, I'm on my phone right now, you know what I mean? But, I mean, when you're passing somebody, that's like a critical moment that you should be paying attention. You know what I mean? You know, you're just cruising down the road, ain't a lot of traffic or whatever. Yeah, you can reach down, look at your Facebook or something like that. But you're like in the middle of passing somebody or something like that. You know, you need to be paying attention and present and in the moment. And, you know, that's something also that you should keep in mind if you're a truck driver, or if you're going to be a truck driver if you're watching this. You know, it's disrespectful. It's disrespectful, and it's also endangering yourself and others. You can't trust that the guy who you're passing may also be on the phone. If both of y'all ain't paying attention, that's just that much more dangerous. You know, somebody's got to be the one who's paying attention to things. I'm paying attention to things out here, you know, trying to keep myself and other people safe. And you should be doing the same. And you should be respecting your fellow drivers on the road. What else? When you're getting fuel in the truck stop, okay, this is not the time to take a 30-minute break. This is not the time to go in the back of your truck and do some shit. When you pull up to that fuel island, it's time to get out the truck and get fuel. Not go in the truck stop, not anything else. You pull up to the fuel island, you get your fuel, and then after you get your fuel, you pull the goddamn truck forward. You pull it forward all the way to the line, and then you go inside and take your shit, get your receipt, buy you something to eat, and come back out. And you don't go in there and play a video game, and then you don't come out, and you don't try to finish a 30-minute break. If you want to take a 30-minute break, go put that truck in a parking spot. The fuel island is not the place for that. The fuel island is a place for you to pull in and get fuel, get the fuck out of the way. You got to go in and get your receipt, but you don't do that while you're still in the fuel island. You pull forward. Every time, without fail. The only time I ever don't pull forward is if there's a truck in front of me that's been sitting there the whole time I fueled and ain't come out and moved. And, you know, maybe I waited a minute and he still ain't moved. I might run in there real quick and get my receipt. But I ain't going to go in there and get my receipt and buy food and take the shit and all that stuff while my truck is sitting right in the fuel island. You know, that's a serious etiquette mistake right there, because, you know, I've been in situations before where where I'm on a time schedule. You know what I mean? I need to pull into this place and get fuel and get the fuck out of there so I can make my delivery or so I can make my next stop or whatever it is. And I've been in situations where I pulled into a truck stop and, you know, you got 6, 8 fuel islands or whatever, and you kind of just got to guess and pick one. And I've been in situations where I picked one and I pulled in and other people pulled in on sides of me. You know, I can't go nowhere. And then this motherfucker up in front, he ain't even got fuel. He ain't even got the fuel nozzle in his truck. He's just sitting there. You know, it take me 20 minutes, 30 minutes before he even comes out and starts fueling his truck. Because the first thing he did was park the truck, go inside, and then come back out and get fuel. And then, not only that, then afterwards, he pulls the truck forward, goes back inside, and then I gotta wait. You know, I've sat in the fuel aisle in 45 minutes. I should have been there 15, you know. I've sat in the fuel aisle in 45 minutes before because people don't follow that simple, basic etiquette. You know, there's a lot more stuff, you know, and we'll talk about some more in other videos, but, you know, I just think that the training is lacking today. I think a lot of it has to do with a couple of things. I think, number one, the old school guys, they're not training people. You know, the people that are training people are these 2-year, 3-year guys who are in here training people when they weren't themselves trained right. And so that just trickles down and people never learn these things. And I think that's a problem. But I think part of the reason that people are not training, that old school guys are not training, is because these places are just driver mills and they're bringing all these people through who don't have any business having a CDL. And so it's dangerous for the guy training. You know, when you get a guy in your truck, and don't get me wrong, I'm not racist or anything, but you get a guy in your truck that can't hardly speak English and got an attitude and stuff like that, and don't want to listen or can't understand you, or you know, just otherwise is not very smart and not getting the hang of things. It's dangerous for you as a trainer when they're expected to drive the truck. You know, so I can understand why a lot of old school guys don't want to train, because they're not doing any kind of a real proper vetting process before they bring these people in to train them. If they were bringing in more quality candidates, then people would be more willing to train properly. It's kind of a catch-22, you know what I mean? But yeah, with that said, you know, continue to learn about these etiquette things. If you're just starting out, you know, learn about them and practice them, you know, and do them. Because when people do it, it makes it a better place, the road a better place for all of us. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Talk at you later.